Welcome to the Bible Quiz and Trivia channel. Today, we're exploring the tricky tales of lies and deception throughout the Bible with 30 thought-provoking questions. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video to support our content. After the quiz, share your score in the comments. We love seeing how well you do. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question 1. Who deceived Isaac by pretending to be his brother Esau? A. Jacob. B. Laban. C. Joseph. D. Judah. Answer A. Jacob. Jacob deceived his father Isaac by pretending to be his brother Esau to receive the blessing meant for the firstborn. This event is recorded in Genesis 27, where Jacob uses goat skins to mimic his brother's hairy skin. Question 2. What was the lie that Satan told Eve in the Garden of Eden? A. You will not surely die. B. You will become like God. C. Both A and B. D. You will know everything. Answer C. Both A and B. Satan deceived Eve by telling her that eating the forbidden fruit would not lead to death and would make her like God, knowing good and evil. This is found in Genesis 3-4-5. Question 3. Which Pharaoh was deceived by Abraham claiming Sarah was his sister? A. Pharaoh of Egypt. B. Pharaoh Akhenaten. C. Pharaoh Thutmose. D. Pharaoh Ramses. Answer A. Pharaoh of Egypt. Abraham deceived the Pharaoh of Egypt by claiming that Sarah was his sister, not his wife, fearing for his life. This deception is detailed in Genesis 12:10-20. Question 4. Who tricked Samson into revealing the secret of his strength? A. Delilah. B. Jezebel. C. Ruth. D. Esther. Answer A. Delilah. Delilah deceived Samson into revealing the secret of his great strength, which was his uncut hair, a symbol of his Nazarite vow to God. The story is recounted in Judges 16. Question 5. Which prophet did the old prophet from Bethel deceive in 1 Kings 13? A. The man of God from Judah. B. Elijah. C. Elisha. D. Isaiah. Answer A. The man of God from Judah. In 1 Kings 13, an old prophet from Bethel deceives a man of God from Judah, telling him that an angel spoke to him to bring the man back to this house, which led to the man of God's death as he disobeyed God's direct command. Question 6. How did Jacob deceive Laban when he left to return to Canaan? A. He stole Laban's idols. B. He left secretly without telling Laban. C. He changed the breeding habits of the animals. D. He did all of the above. Answer D. He did all of the above. Jacob used multiple deceptions against Laban, including secretly fleeing with his family, changing the breeding habits of the animals to his advantage, and Rachel stealing her father's household idols, as described in Genesis 31. Question 7. What lie did Potiphar's wife tell about Joseph that got him thrown into prison? A. He stole from Potiphar. B. He attempted to seduce her. C. He was planning to escape. D. He insulted Potiphar. Answer B. He attempted to seduce her. Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of attempting to seduce her, leading to his imprisonment. This accusation is documented in Genesis 39-720. Question 8. What deception did Rahab use to hide the Israelite spies? A. She hid them under stalks of flax on her roof. B. She dressed them as merchants. C. She claimed they had left the city. D. Both A and C. Answer D. Both A and C. Rahab hid the spies under stalks of flax on her roof and lied, saying they had left the city, which allowed them to escape safely. This story is in Joshua 2. Question 9. Who lied to the Holy Spirit about the price of a piece of property in Acts 5? A. Paul and Silas. B. Ananias and Sapphira. C. Priscilla and Aquila. D. Barnabas and Mark. Answer: B. Ananias and Sapphira. Ananias and Sapphira lied about the price for which they sold a piece of property, keeping part of the money for themselves while claiming to donate the entire amount. This deception is detailed in Acts 5 to 111. Question 10. What was the deceptive advice given by the young men to King Rehoboam? A. To reduce taxes. B. To make peace with the northern tribes. C. To increase their labor and make their yoke heavier. D. To flee the kingdom. Answer: C. To increase their labor and make their yoke heavier. The young men advised King Rehoboam to tell the people he would make their yoke heavier and increase their labor, which led to the division of the kingdom. This advice is recorded in 1 Kings 12:10-14. Question 11. How did King Ahab disguise himself in battle to avoid being targeted? A. He wore a soldier's armor. B. He did not go to the battle. C. He dressed as a chariot driver. D. He wore the armor of another king. Answer: A. He wore a soldier's armor. To avoid being targeted in battle, King Ahab disguised himself by wearing an ordinary soldier's armor, while he asked King Jehoshaphat of Judah to wear his royal robes. This event is described in 1 Kings 22:30. Question 12. What falsehood did Jezebel concoct to have Naboth killed for his vineyard? A. Naboth had cursed God and the king. B. Naboth had stolen from the royal treasury. C. Naboth was plotting to overthrow Ahab. D. Naboth had desecrated a holy site. Answer: A. Naboth had cursed God and the king. Jezebel wrote letters in Ahab's name to have Naboth accused falsely of cursing God and the king, which led to his execution and Ahab taking possession of Naboth's vineyard. This act is recorded in 1 Kings 21-8-14. Question 13. Who was tricked into marrying Leah instead of Rachel? A. Isaac. B. Jacob. C. Esau. D. Joseph. Answer: B. Jacob. Laban tricked Jacob into marrying Leah instead of Rachel, whom he loved and worked 7 years to marry. Jacob discovered the deception the morning after the wedding night. This story is in Genesis 29:23-25. Question 14. How did the Gibeonites deceive Joshua and the Israelites? A. By pretending to be ambassadors from a distant land. B. By offering a false treaty. C. By hiding their military strength. D. By pretending to be enemies. Answer: A. By pretending to be ambassadors from a distant land. The Gibeonites deceived Joshua and the Israelites by pretending to come from a distant land, seeking a peace treaty. They wore old clothes and brought stale provisions to support their lie, as detailed in Joshua 9-3-6. Question 15. What deceptive tactic did Delilah use to learn the source of Samson's strength? A. She threatened him. B. She drugged him. C. She repeatedly asked him until he told her. D. She paid someone to find out. Answer: C. She repeatedly asked him until he told her. Delilah used the tactic of repeatedly questioning Samson about the source of his strength and expressing hurt that he did not trust her until he finally revealed the secret of his Nazarite vow and his uncut hair. This is described in Judges 16-4-17. Question 16. Which disciple lied about knowing Jesus 3 times? A. John. B. Peter. C. Matthew. D. James. Answer B. Peter. Peter denied knowing Jesus 3 times before the rooster crowed, fulfilling Jesus' prediction of his denial. This event is notably recorded in Matthew 26 to 69:75. Question 17. How did the serpent deceive Eve according to Paul in the New Testament? A. By changing its appearance. B. By using force. C. By cunning and craftiness. D. By impersonating God. Answer C. By cunning and craftiness. Paul refers to the serpent's deception as an act of cunning and craftiness, emphasizing how it tricked Eve. This is discussed in 2 Corinthians 11-3. Question 18. What was the lie that Sapphira and Ananias agreed to tell the apostles? A. They had given all the money from a land sale to the church. B. They were leaving the church. C. They had received a higher offer for their land. D. They had lost the money. Answer A. They had given all the money from a land sale to the church. Ananias and Sapphira lied about giving all the proceeds from a land sale to the church, holding back part of the money for themselves, as detailed in Acts 5-111. Question 19. Which king was tricked into signing a decree that would have led to Daniel's execution? A. Cyrus. B. Nebuchadnezzar. C. Belshazzar. D. Darius. Answer D. Darius. King Darius was deceived into signing a decree that ultimately led to Daniel being thrown into the lion's den, as recorded in Daniel 6. Question 20. What false charges were brought against Jesus at his trial? A. Stealing from the temple. B. Claiming to be the king of the Jews. C. Inciting a rebellion. D. Both B and C. Answer D. Both B and C. At his trial, Jesus faced false charges, including claiming to be the king of the Jews and inciting rebellion against Roman authority, notably discussed in Luke 23-2. Question 21. How did Laban trick Jacob into working for him for an extra 7 years? A. By hiding his wealth. B. By offering his younger daughter first. C. By substituting leave for Rachel on Jacob's wedding night. D. By changing the terms of their agreement. Answer C. By substituting leave for Rachel on Jacob's wedding night. Laban deceived Jacob by substituting leave for Rachel on the wedding night, forcing Jacob to work an additional 7 years for Rachel, as described in Genesis 29:25-27. Question 22. Who pretended to be insane before a Philistine king, as recorded in the Psalms? A. David. B. Saul. C. Samuel. D. Solomon. Answer A. David. David feigned insanity before King Achish of Gath to save his life, an event he later reflects on in Psalm 34. Question 23. What deceptive action did Judas take before betraying Jesus? A. He lied about his intentions. B. He stole from the disciples' money bag. C. He kissed Jesus to identify him to the authorities. D. He promised to return to the disciples. Answer C. He kissed Jesus to identify him to the authorities. Judas used a kiss as a sign to betray Jesus to the authorities, marking Jesus for arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane, as noted in Matthew 26:48-49. Question 24. Which false prophet tried to curse Israel but ended up blessing them instead? A. Balaam. B. Jonah. C. Nathan. D. Ezekiel. Answer A. Balaam. Balaam, a prophet hired to curse Israel, ended up blessing them instead because he could only speak the words God put in his mouth, as recorded in Numbers 23 and 24. Question 25. How did Michal deceive her father Saul about David's escape? A. She said David was sick and hid an idol in his bed. B. She claimed David had gone on a mission. C. She helped David fight Saul's soldiers. D. She told Saul that David had kidnapped her. Answer. A. She said David was sick and hid an idol in his bed. Michal deceived Saul by claiming David was sick and placing an idol in the bed as a decoy to facilitate David's escape, as detailed in 1 Samuel 19:12-17. Question 26. Who in the New Testament is accused of turning from the true faith and following deceitful spirits? A. The Galatians. B. Demas. C. Some in Ephesus. D. Judas. Answer. C. Some in Ephesus. In his letters to Timothy, Paul warns that some in Ephesus will turn away from the faith and follow deceitful spirits and teachings of demons, particularly noted in 1 Timothy 4:1. Question 27. What was the deception involved in the original sin according to the letter to the Romans? A. Eve believed she would not die. B. Adam was deceived about the nature of God. C. Eve was deceived about the fruit's power. D. Both A and C. Answer. D. Both A and C. According to Paul in Romans, the deception in the original sin involved Eve being lied to about the consequences of eating the fruit and its supposed benefits, as discussed in Romans 5:12 and 2 Corinthians 11. 3. Question 28. Who deceived the guards of the tomb where Jesus was buried according to Matthew? A. The disciples. B. The Pharisees. C. The chief priests and elders. D. Mary Magdalene and other women. Answer. C. The chief priests and elders. According to Matthew 28:11-15, the chief priests and elders devised a plan and bribed the guards to say that Jesus' disciples came during the night and stole his body while they were asleep. Question 29. What deceptive promise did the chief priests and elders give to Judas for betraying Jesus? A. Power and authority. B. 30 pieces of silver. C. Protection from Rome. D. A high position in the temple. Answer. B. 30 pieces of silver. The chief priests and elders promised Judas 30 pieces of silver in exchange for betraying Jesus, a sum that Judas later regretted accepting and returned, leading to his demise, as described in Matthew 26:14-16 and 27-35. Question 30. How did the sons of Jacob deceive the men of Shechem before attacking the city? A. They offered a false peace treaty. B. They pretended to form an alliance. C. They asked all the men to be circumcised. D. Both B and C. Answer. D. Both B and C. The sons of Jacob, led by Simeon and Levi, deceived the men of Shechem by agreeing to an alliance through intermarriage on the condition that all the men be circumcised. Once the men were incapacitated from the circumcision, they attacked the city, as detailed in Genesis 34.